Tonight's could be possibly the night that Kev Shearer writes his own destiny into the history books as a one-up Turbo Truck Series champion. But to do that, he's going to have a monumental day today and hope that those around him falter. And of all the tracks that could happen at, this is definitely one of the favorites. Rockingham Speedway out in North Carolina. This 1 mile high banked oval is like a cheese grater in racetrack form. It chews away at the tires. These tires will not have an easy time here at Rockingham. And for 79 laps, these trucks will be taking on the Rockingham Speedway for the second to last race in the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series season. And joining me in the booth alongside me for this race is James Ellison. So, well, I've pretty much explained it already. Kev Shearer has a great opportunity to win a championship here, but he needs to have Earl Cyr and Nelson Reeves have subpar days to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting scenario we're looking at here, because if something goes wrong and Shearer finishes in the back half of the field, this is gonna go to Homestead. But honestly, he's going to do everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen, and it's just going to seriously take something going seriously wrong, like a bad pit stop late and him finishing in the back half of the field, and neither of his competitors having a problem along with him, for them to have a hope to at least drag it out to Homestead.
Yeah, and when you say, like you say, a pit stop could change it all, that very well could be the case, because these guys are on a razor's edge if they're able to make it all the way from the green flag to the checkered flag on one set of tires. We could see a rash of tire problems at the end of this race if these guys push too hard in the early stages, but we'll wait until the race nears its conclusion to find that out. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 79-lap affair. Bronson Minnick gets pole position, even though he's no longer in the championship hunt. He's looking for some good finishes to help him out. He got a great result in the national race at Texas World last week, so he's riding some good momentum there. And then perhaps the guy who's got the most momentum in the Truck Series, DJ Curtis, starts alongside him. Curtis has made 5 starts this season. They've all been top 10 finishes, and he's got a real good chance to get another one here tonight.
Yeah, he's really been lighting up the field here with his arrival, and it's just real amazing and impressive to watch. And I've gotten to be able to get a taste from the booth of what he's capable of, and I really look forward to seeing what he can do today. Of course, you got the guy who could lock it all up here today, and Kev Shearer starting 4th. One of my own trucks with Noah Hart starting 5th. Got a good, and Nick Breeding and Nelson Reeves, one of the two that are looking to stop Shearer from clinching right there outside something. Then you look back at 15th, you got Earl Cyr. He's got a little work to do, but I don't think he'll have a problem with it.
So with that being said, we have 40 trucks lined up to take the start of this race, and we're ready to bring you that action now. This is the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series from Rockingham Speedway, and the green flag is mere moments away from falling on the field and getting this great race underway. Under the lights at Rockingham, it is Minnick and Curtis on the front row. Green flag now in the air. And these 40 trucks get us underway for 79 laps at the Rock. And it looks like it's pretty even on the front row. Minnick gets a slight advantage going into turn 1. That inside line is going to be your best friend here today. But how about DJ Curtis on the top lane? He's going to get by Bronson Minnick and take the lead going into 3.
He's technically clear, but I wouldn't call it clear until he moves down. Now I'd say now he's clear. He's definitely got good advantage. That is a very good launch there going down the backstretch.
Yeah, and he's already built a 0.3 of a second lead. Meanwhile, everyone else on that outside lane is going backwards in a hurry. Most notably, our series points leader, Kev Shearer. He's fallen now all the way back to, looks like, the 7th spot. And man, look at how Brandon Smith dove to the inside just like that. They're looking to take advantage of these fresh tires while they're still good. And Shearer now already falling to just inside the top 10.
Yeah, he's not alone in that. You got several of them back that are on the outside stuck. And you see another of my own trucks, Jacob Beholtz. He hasn't been having a very good season. And we've been trying hard to figure out why, but he's up there ahead of Shearer, who's Well, okay, maybe not, because here comes championship competitor Earl Cyr.
They started 11 positions apart, but after only 3 laps, they're right next to each other on the racetrack. Shearer making his way backwards in a hurry. Earl Cyr trying to find his way to the front. They run 10th and 11th now. Shearer finally gets to the inside in 10th position, as looks like we got a 3-car pack trying to chase down the leader, DJ Curtis.
And it looking like Noah Hart back there. He's trying to sniff a little bit of air, maybe help get some momentum. Maybe he doesn't want to peek up there too high. A little too late now because he's got a battle for hold off for fourth, which is going to do so for the moment. But right now, DJ Curtis got the lead handily.
Yeah, and this is, I believe, the second race of DJ Curtis's career that he has led after Talladega. And remember how close he came to winning that race. He was 7/1000ths of a second short of the checkers on that occasion. But now that we're in the unrestricted Rockingham, DJ Curtis pulling away from the field. He's already got a half-second lead.
And he's doing what he needs to do right now early on, just get in the lead and just set a rhythm and go for it. Meanwhile, Bronson Minnick, our pole sitter, he would love nothing more than to be able to get back up there, but it's going to take a little bit of work and maybe a little cooperation with Chastain and Hart behind him.
Yeah, and remember, Minnick and Chastain are teammates at New England Cruisers Racing, and they got another teammate in 5th, Jensen Nomina, in the 65. So if those 3 New England Cruisers trucks can start working together, if they shuffle Hart out of the way and form a train of New England Cruisers trucks, they can maybe start to chase down the 22 of Curtis, because these are the 2 top Ford teams at the moment. Fingai Saitomi leading and New England Cruisers right behind.
Yeah, but they may want to reconsider the idea of pushing Hart out of the way because they've got company in the form of 2 Kings Motorsports trucks back there.
Yeah, Nelson Reeves and Brandon Smith in the 18 running 6th and 7th. They've started to join this group and put a bit of distance between themselves and the 92 of Brian Grigsby in 8th. Buchholz up to 9th. Kev Shearer completes the top 10. As they run right now, the championship will go to Homestead because Shearer is not beating the 3 by enough spots.
Yeah, and he's got to be thankful that this is early on because if this were to come into the checkered flag, yeah, he probably would not be too happy, but there'd be quite a few people who would love to see this go to Homestead. I think Kev's the only one who would rather see it end today.
And here comes Earl Cyr. He's got a run on the 02, diving it off in the turn 3. The problem with Earl Cyr has is that while, yes, he's got a teammate 2 trucks back in Audrey Anzac in the 83, the problem that Earl Cyr has is the truck directly behind him is Shearer's teammate, Nick Breeding, in the 47, and I don't think Breeding is willing to do Cyr any favors tonight.
I would bet not. He wants the top 10. He wants to help his teammate in Kev Shearer, but he also wants to be able to get in every position he can. Meanwhile, I'll talk about taking positions. We got Francois Chastain going inside, bringing Hart, and
Nomina in the 65.
Yeah, my apologies on that. I'm some of these trucks I'm still not used to, but yeah, not exactly teamwork, but I think Minnick realized he was the one holding everybody up there, but he might want to stumble over my words. He might want to dive back in soon.
There might be a gap between the 2 Kings trucks in Reeves and Smith. Otherwise, he's going to have to wait until Kev Shearer passes him, and that's a long way away. But we saw Chastain right on the back of Curtis here, and Francois Chastain, he needs a lot of help to stay in this championship fight. He's mired deep in the points right now. He's still mathematically in contention, but he needs to win this race while Kev Shearer finishes way, way in the back to have a shot at going to Homestead.
And you see right there, he's hanging on close to Curtis while Noah Hart is now kind of by himself. Nomina not too far behind him, but still quite a bit of battling going on as it looks like Shearer finally had enough of being behind Buchholz.
Yeah, they've pushed the 10 up the racetrack, and that moves Earl Cyr into the top 10 for the first time tonight. It looks like Minnick has settled in 7th spot behind Brandon Smith. and Buchholz falls out of the top 10. Now he battles Nick Breeding for 11th. Back at the front, though, Noah Hart has latched himself to the back bumper of Francois Chastain. They are starting to try and work together to get past this 22.
I think Chastain's going to have to accept it for now because it doesn't look like Nomina's going to be able to do anything. Well, maybe a little bit, but they've also got to worry about Reeves right there behind them. But this is pretty good so far. It's not been constant dogfighting for the lead, but it's not been smooth sailing for Curtis either.
As much as Curtis has dominated this race so far, he's led all 16 laps up to this point. He hasn't really pulled away very far. The biggest lead I think he's gotten so far is about half a second. So these guys are able to keep in touch with the 22, and once these tires fall off, then we'll really see who's got the fastest truck.
Yeah, the tire wear, once it really kicks in, is going to be interesting because you see right now you got Curtis, Chastain, Hart, Nomina. They're the ones up at the front at the moment. We had Bronson Minnick in there, but then he got shuffled out of the way. But these four have been up here this whole time, and even if they rearrange the lineup a little bit in the top four, I think these are the early on best trucks.
And DJ Curtis is doing a good job leading this race. I believe, well, it's not the most laps he's led in a race yet. That he led 23 laps at Talladega, but he should easily be able to surpass that total here today. But I don't know if Chastain wants him to. I think this one truck really wants to get to the lead and get as many points as possible because, like I said, his championship hopes are on life support at the moment.
Yeah, but you can't really do much when you got Hart peeking out there trying to see about a run on the out, looking like he's at least going to try to look for a run on the outside, but can't really do anything when you're the only one peeking to the outside.
True, but you got to try and make a move whenever you can, especially now that we're 20 laps in and the tire's starting to fall off. We're almost a second off the pace compared to when we started this race. Here comes Nomina to the inside of the 11, but Hart just gets such a good run off the top of the racetrack. They're still going to be side by side going into turn 1, but I think this is going to be a harder pass for the 65 than perhaps he would have liked.
Yeah, he had the help from Reeves there for a little bit, but then the 71 backed off, and now here comes Bronson Minnick back into the picture here. Things have shuffled up a little bit, and now they're starting to stretch out just the slightest bit.
Yeah, now, while Chastain has stayed in touch with the 22, Noah Hart's fallen a little ways back, Nomina's dropped even further behind, and Bronson Minnick has made his way back into the top 5. He's passed Nelson Reeves to get up into the 5th position. As we look a little bit further back in the field, see where your favorite driver's running in this race, but look at that. Noah Hart's found some speed again. He's caught the top 2, and the top 3 now are starting to stretch their legs out in front of 4th place Nomina.
Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like at least early going, even as the tires start to wear, we are seeing who, at least of the top 5, is the best, and we'll see as the race goes on how well this holds up. Well, you know who I'd be pulling for, but honestly, DJ Curtis is doing an amazing job here, just holding on to the lead. Chastain just holding by this time, keeping patient, and keeping that 11 behind him.
And let's not forget, we don't know what Francois Chastain's plans are for 2024. He'd like to stay at New England Cruisers Racing, I'm sure, but the team have yet to confirm their Truck Series plans for next year. They've got 2 national cars set up, but Chastain did not get the call up to drive either one. So the odds-on favorite is that Chastain will stay in the Truck Series with New England Cruisers, but there's still that lingering question mark hovering over him, and I'm sure a win would really put a smile on Nick Ortiz's face.
That would definitely be huge for that team, and it would, I believe, it could very well seal the return to the 1 for Chastain. But big mystery, just like admittedly, I'm still not entirely sure what all my team's plans are, including that 11 truck behind Chastain, but. Well, still got a little bit of time to figure it out, but we've also got a race to run here.
Absolutely. We're about a third of the way through the race now, and DJ Curtis has led them all so far from the outside pole. He's got Francois Chastain about an arm's length behind him now. He can relax and focus on running his own race now. Hart and Noman are doing battle for third, and then Bronson Minnick's lurking just inside the top 5 in 5th. Looking further back now, and a little bit further back, yeah, Earl Cyr has lost a lot of positions. He's now down in 16th place, as Brandon Smith's also lost a little time.
Yeah, and I look right there. You see the 83 Audrey Anzac is coming to the picture here a little bit, and I see the 31, another of my own trucks, trying to not be the only one from the team in the top 10, but Kev Shearer doing what he needs to do right now, holding station there in 8th place.
Yeah, but as it runs right now, he still would not be able to lock up the championship here because he needs to outscore Earl Cyr by 16 points, and he's not doing that at the moment. He needs Cyr to fall back even further, or he needs to win this race, which I'm sure he'd love to do, get his 6th win of the season. But there's still a lot of racing to go. We got 50 laps to go. We're on lap 30. We got 50 laps to go from the Rock, and Shearer is doing his best to stay in this top 10, and he's currently in 8th place.
Yeah, that's all you can do right now is hold station and hope that maybe you can start catching and picking off trucks left as one at a time. Like right now, he's got Brian Grigsby ahead of him, but that's a little bit of a gap even to the 92 there.
Yeah, he's got about half a second to make up to catch the 92, who is starting to close in on this top 6 that are all scrapping away for the lead. You see that black and green 92 back there trying to gain some ground, because while Grigsby is still technically in the hunt for the Drivers' Championship, but he needs a lot of luck to make that happen, DJ Curtis, who's leading this race as Chastain gets kicked up to the top, DJ Curtis is in the hunt for the Owners' Championship with this 22 truck, and I'm sure he would love to deliver for Fingai Saitomi here today, as Chastain tries to go for the lead on the top, but it's probably not going to work this time.
He don't exactly have the help he needs. I mean, you got Reeves peeking out back there, but I don't think he's really trying to help Chastain. He's just trying to get some fresh air while he's locked up to that 91. But Hart finally trying to make a move, and Chastain proving that it's not going to be easy.
No, but he is proving that top lane is viable for defending if you can generate momentum up there. And so far, he's doing that. He's doing a great job. He's running that top lane, but he is losing time to those underneath him. Hart gets through. Now Noman is to his inside. Minnick's right behind the 65. So you see Chastain sends it off into the corner really well, but it's right in the middle where he loses all his time.
Yeah, and that high line is what helped Noah Hart and be able to hold on to a top 5 spot and be able to be in a position to move Chastain out of the way and maybe finally be the first one to put mount a proper challenge for the lead.
Can Noah Hart win number 1 here this evening at Rockingham? We've got the top 3 in this race. Curtis, Hart, and Nomina all looking for their first career wins in the Truck Series. Minnick, of course, has a win. He got it at Homestead last year. Nelson Reeves has a couple. Francois Chastain has a bunch. Brian Grigsby has a few. Shearer, of course, has the most all-time. Breeding and Anzac in 9th and 10th still looking for that first win as well.
Yeah, you talk about Hart. It'd be his first career win. It'd also be the first win for Crossroads Racing this year. I will say, as a team, we have not been having a good time in the Truck Series. I mean, you look at Talladega for a prime example. But he's still doing good, even though he just got kicked out of the way by Nomina and might lose another spot to Minnick. But he's doing what he needs to do, and if he can finish top 10, I'd be very happy with that.
And it looks, odds are, that he will be able to do that, but we still have a long way to go in this race. We're closing in on halfway. DJ Curtis, if he can lead up to lap 40, he will lock up the point for most laps led. And while that might not mean much in the Drivers' Championship, he entered this race 35th in the Drivers' points. This will do wonders for the Owners' Championship because he is right behind Kev Shearer in that battle. And with Shearer running down in 7th and Curtis dominating in the lead, that could tighten up the Owners' Championship fight as well.
That's exactly what they would like to see there with that team. Because honestly, as much as Kev would like to be able to lock up the Owners' Championship and for the O2 and the Drivers' Championship for himself, he's got a lot of competition to worry about, especially with the mixed bag of running order right now for those he's competing against for both.
And think of this as a bit of revenge for Fingai Saitomi Motorsports. Remember, last year, they won the Drivers' Championship with Ryan Griffin, but lost the Owners' Championship to Kev Shearer in that 02. Wouldn't they just love to repay the favor by stealing the Owners' Championship this year away from Kev Shearer in 2023?
Yeah, that would be something that I guess you could say turnabout is fair play on that one. But still a long way to go, though. It's proven very hard for anyone to get by this truck that's in the lead right now.
That would be DJ Curtis in the 22, who has led more laps today than in his whole career up to this point combined. Of course, this is only his 6th career start, and odds are he's on his way to a much deserved maiden win if it holds like this. Noah Hart's starting to fall back. He's down to 9th now, but Curtis doing a fantastic job. He's finished every race he started so far in the top 10, and if it continues this way the rest of the night, that streak will continue in a big way.
Yeah, and that's a streak that is very impressive, especially considering he only just recently joined the series. But you can't discount the talent that he has, especially being able to hold off a few different challenges thus far.
Can DJ Curtis outfox the competition and go for his maiden win at Rockingham? He's still got quite a ways to go before we can say for sure, because Jensen Nomina in the 65 starting to mount his own challenge, going for the top spot, trying to close in on Curtis, and he's able to get to the back of the 22, but he might have to hold on until his teammate Chastain comes into the picture.
Yeah, and that pardon me. Yeah, that is a little bit of work to do, but we've seen Chastain be able to keep a good draft and be able to get up there, but he got rooted out of the way earlier. I'm not sure. Well, he could play a good teammate right at this point in the race, but if these three are like this and at the end of the race, all bets are off.
Because remember, Chastain has lots of wins in this series. Jensen Nomina looking for his first, and so is DJ Curtis. They want it badly here at Rockingham. And remember, the last time the trucks visited Rockingham, we had a first-time winner. So who's to say it won't happen again? Chastain would sure like to deny it, but we've still got about 30 laps till we figure it out for sure.
Yeah, 30 laps is a long way, especially when you're the person one of the drivers who cannot get by that 22. It can be very frustrating, and I'm pretty sure Nomina is really hoping for his teammate to be able to get up there, and he is starting to close in there.
Now you see Nomina trying to go to experiment with different lines to see what he can do. Because what I've noticed about DJ Curtis, he has been a superstar all night long at not giving up the bottom of the racetrack. He has been glued to that yellow line the entire race so far. And that is something that you really want to be able to do here at Rockingham. Because that inside line, if no one gets to your inside, they're not going to be able to pass you.
And don't look now. I see a new player in the game right there ahead of Nelson Reeves. Nick Breeding was hanging toward the back of the top 10 most of this time, but now he's found his way up here. He could have something to say about this.
He's trying to become a first-time winner as well in this 47. We have no idea what's going to happen with Nick Breeding next year because of, as we all know, Kings Motorsports closing its doors at the end of this season. Kev Shearer is likely going to bring them a championship this year, but the only driver of theirs we know of their future is Brandon Smith in the 18. He's going to be moving over to the 15 of Paladin Racing for 2024. But for Kev Shearer, Nelson Reeves, and Nick Breeding, we have no idea what's in store for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery surrounding those three, and with Kev being very likely going to be the champion this year, I'm sure he's had a lot of inquiries about what he wants to do, and come drive for this, come drive for my team, come drive for my team, and I'm sure he's got a lot to think about.
I'm sure, but look at the gap DJ Curtis has pulled out. He's gained 6/10 in that one lap. He has gained up to 3/4 of a second. This is the biggest lead we've seen him have all night long, and it looks like Nomina might be holding up his teammate Chastain. I think this one truck might be the one that can challenge Curtis, but he's got to get by the 65 first.
And while we're watching that, I couldn't help but notice we have, even if briefly, a new player in the top 10. We got the 8 of Terzic there. I believe I was pronouncing that right.
You are, and although he's no longer in the championship hunt, I'm sure he would love to get another win to go with the one he got at Springfield. But Curtis is well on his way to getting that first career win here today. As Kev Shearer, we see him now, he runs back in the 7th position. As it runs right now, he would not lock up the championship tonight. It would go to Homestead because Earl Cyr is hanging in there just outside the top 10 and keeping the championship out of Shearer's hands for the moment.
And that's all Cyr needs to do. That's the big thing. You don't want to just lay down and quit. You know, when you have a shot, you don't just give up. You don't, and no, I have yet to see in any racing series someone who has a chance to catch up and maybe steal a title from someone who looked like a sure in for it, just give up when they still have a shot.
And Earl Cyr certainly doesn't want to give up his shot, but he's running out of laps to catch the 02, who's now all over the back of Bronson Minnick. Cyr, by the way, has moved up to the 15th position, but he's kind of stalled out there for the moment. But look at Nomina and Chastain. They have caught DJ Curtis. That gap, it's gone now. The two New England Cruisers trucks are going for it.
Yeah, talk about teammates. I honestly think that maybe they will see something here, and then if they can get by Curtis, maybe then we'll see the teammate card thrown out the window.
Potentially, but they got to get by Curtis first, and no one's been able to do that all night long. Like I said earlier, Curtis has just been the absolute best at maintaining a presence on the bottom of the racetrack, even on the straightaways. As it looks like Buchholz making a pit stop late. We said at the top of the show, didn't we? Tire problems could plague the second half of this race, and it looks like the 10 is the first one to have one.
Yeah, that if that truly is a tire problem and not a hope to trigger pit stops by the 10 crew, that hurts to see as a team owner, but you talked about it. You can't avoid tire problems at this stage of the race, so yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but at the same time, there's a lot of drivers that are probably starting to get a little nervous seeing that 10 in the pits.
Yeah, we checked pit road for a moment. No one else was coming down, but if this is a move to get track position, and if everyone else has to pit again, it's very unlikely, but if that were to happen, I think that's a race-winning move from that 10 team.
And boy, I've talked about it. With when Noah Hart was up here, but I'm wanting to see something good out of my team at the end of this race. But right now, Nick Breeding trying to make something happen for his team.
Yeah, King's Motorsports. Breeding's actually the highest running of the King's Motorsports trucks at the moment. He's currently 4th, but Nomina all over DJ Curtis. We're on lap 60. We've got 20 laps to go, and these 4 have broken away from 5th place Nelson Reeves, and they're starting to form a train. I know that Curtis is not going to give up the bottom without a fight. He's done that all night long. But can Chastain now find a way to get to underneath his teammate, or will it be all said and done for DJ Curtis?
Well, we're gonna find out here soon enough. And looking at the running order at the line, Kev Shearer lost a few more spots. He got passed by Hart, Anzac, Turgich, and now he's just outside the top 10 as we see someone else pitting here.
That's the 99 of Krastev. So it looks as though we've got a few people with tire problems in this race, but that could trigger a flurry of pit stops at the end of this race. And if that happens, Jacob Buchholz is going to be in an amazing position because he's already got his fresh tires. And as you can see, he's putting them to good use. As Nomina tried to go around the outside for the lead, but now he's got a freight train of trucks underneath him.
Yeah, that was a bold move, but it's going to be costly if he doesn't watch it, especially because I don't think anybody's going to be going up there to save him.
Absolutely not. He's falling back, Breeding now up to third. Nelson Reeves up there. And look at Krastev. He's rejoining on the back straightaway. Now Curtis, he hasn't given up the bottom all night long, but he has to now in order to give Krastev enough space to get up to speed. So Curtis in an unfamiliar position, and now Chastain goes to the outside, trying to take the lead away.
Yeah, here comes Nelson Reeves now, maybe trying to do something if Chastain can't. But this is a position that Reeves hasn't been in all day. He's been close. He's been there with some of his teammates, but this shuffle is really not only benefiting Chastain, but could benefit Reeves.
And just like that, we've had our first lead change of the night, and it's Francois Chastain to the point with 15 laps to go.
And he's built up an advantage. Curtis is stuck. A lot of these guys are stuck behind that 99, but this could get very interesting here.
And especially considering that Buchholz is back there gaining a lot of time. He's sweeping around the outside to get past Minnick now. Look at Buchholz with those fresh tires sawing his way through the field.
Yeah, he's got fresh tires. He and the 99 got fresh tires, but I think between those two, Buchholz may have just had the better equipment if he could just clear Curtis. And you see right now, though, even with being from normally a back runner, that 99 is all over Chastain. Not for position, but still.
That's the advantage fresh tires do for you here at Rockingham. And now Krastev and Buchholz start to battle for position. That is a battle for position, by the way. It's the battle for 39th on the racetrack. But Buchholz is doing whatever he can to salvage something out of this race, because if everybody else has to pit again, this is going to be a battle for the win between the 99 and the 10.
And what a twist that would be, especially for the driver of that 99. Krastev, if he were to end up going from a battle for between the last two spots to a battle for the win, what a twist that would be as they work their way past Chastain right now.
Yeah, Chastain's not going to fight them, I think, too hard, because that's not his race. His race is with DJ Curtis, but he does want to get to the bottom as soon as possible, because Curtis is coming in that 22 to try and save his race. He led so much of this race to DJ Curtis, but could this win have slipped away from him as we approach 10 to go?
Well, we're going to find out soon enough. Chastain still has a decent lead. He's still got a little bit of draft from the now nearly lap down trucks ahead of him, and
they are still a lap down.
Yeah,
they went 2 down on their pit stop, so they are still a lap down, but they got one of them back the hard way.
And it's going to be a lot of work for them if everybody else pits, but right now, Chastain's your man.
And isn't he just? He's got quite the lead under him now. As look at the gap he has pulled over Curtis, Reeves, Minnick, and the rest. These guys are all doing whatever they can to chase down this one who, with coming to 9 laps to go in this race, has established himself out in front by quite a big margin. The gap's over a second now.
And you see a little bit more shuffling in the top 10. Kev Shearer up to 7th again. And while that may not be enough to solidify a championship, it certainly just shows that he is not gonna just. I talked about it earlier. He is not going to give up. He's going to do everything he can, even if he has to go all the way to the checkers at Homestead to get this championship. He will have well deserved and earned it.
It looks like he'll have to at this point as we see some dust being kicked up on the front straightaway, and it looks like Brandon Smith in the 18's the next one to have a tire problem on the racetrack. It looks like he's either coming to pit road or he just left, but we're looking. I think Smith is going to come on his way to pit road. There he is. Oh, and Buchholz almost hit him there.
Yeah, I think he just swung out there a little bit, and Buchholz was trying to make a move on the 99 and ducked just in time. But I see right now, Reeves and Curtis starting to catch them one.
They're gaining on him. They've gained half a second in the last few laps, and they're coming to the end of this race. And Curtis and Reeves, they're not teammates. They don't drive for the same manufacturer, but they're working together tonight, and it's paying dividends here as we close in now on 6 laps to go.
And you see back there, Minnick and Hart, they're not even manufacturer teammates either, but they're doing what they can. They know they have an opportunity here, but man, Curtis, that truck is very strong.
Oh, we got a smoker down there, and it's Krastev. The 99 of Krastev's lost the engine on that 99. He's going to be done for today. We're coming to 5 laps to go, and his hopes of salvaging something out of this race has gone down the drain as Brandon Smith exits the pits. Oh, and he gets hit by, looked like the 66 of Henry Thomas hit the back of the 99 as the ladder was heading for pit road.
And that's going to be an unfortunate thing for Thomas because that's going to be some damage for that 66. But meanwhile, back up front, Curtis is pulled away from Reeves, and he's going to try to salvage this victory.
Coming now to the end of this race. We're getting closer to the end now. Chastain leads Curtis, and there were 3 wide further back in the top 10 for position. And now Curtis doing whatever he can. Now he's experimenting with different lines. He's doing his absolute best to keep in front of Nelson Reeves, while at the same time trying to get back past the 1 of Chastain.
Yeah, and Chastain sees that and is trying to make a move on him, and I think Curtis had to check up just the slightest bit, but he's already on the charge once again here.
We now have 3 laps to go, and Curtis is right there waiting for a moment to strike. He's got to take every opportunity he can get to chase down this one, as it looks like Buchholz has caught the back of the field and trying to salvage his race. But we're coming to 2 laps to go. It doesn't look like anybody else is coming for the pit lane tonight, and now it's going to be a battle between these 3 for the win.
Now these 3, and if they keep, I don't know if Minnick and Hart can catch up there and mix things up. It's definitely looking like it's between Chastain, Curtis, and Reeves here, like you said.
We're coming to the white flag this time, and Chastain's got a healthy margin over the 22 of Curtis, but he's got to do whatever he can to hold on to it, because coming out of turn 4, they're going to face the white flag and 1 lap to go from Rockingham.
Last lap, can Chastain get another win, or will Curtis get that first one? He is all over that 1 right now, trying to do something, and he has got to try something, because in that shuffle with the lap down trucks, he lost the lead, and now he could and it's looking like he's not going to have the shot here. He's putting every effort into it. You can't doubt that regardless.
But coming out of turn 4, it's going to be Francois Chastain scoring another win in the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series. Francois Chastain gets the job done at the Rock. He gets the job done and denies DJ Curtis a first career win. And Francois Chastain now ties Kev Shearer all-time for the lead in career wins, and that's something he's going to savor quite a bit here today. DJ Curtis gave it everything he possibly had. He led the most laps tonight, but it will be 2nd place for him. Nelson Reeves, 3rd. Bronson Minnick, 4th. Noah Hart completes the top 5 ahead of Breeding. Shearer, he finishes 7th, but that is not enough to lock up the championship. It will go to Homestead next week.
Yeah, and that is not what he wanted to see, but honestly, I think that's going to make it a lot of fun to see just what he and that 02 team can do to give him the best truck possible, and all of King's Motorsports will be rallying behind him for this. So, really looking forward to seeing how this plays out at Homestead.
It is going to be a 1v1 fight for the championship. There's only 2 guys left with a chance to win it. Kev Shearer with a 43-point lead over Earl Cyr heading into Homestead. Those two are the only ones that can win it now. We'll see who comes out on top at Miami, but for now, we say goodbye. From James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the Rockingham Speedway. Congratulations to Francois Chastain on the win, and we're looking forward to the Ultimate Championship Showdown between Kev Shearer and Earl Cyr next week at Homestead Miami Speedway.